going to have a look at making an amethyst soap. Now, in some of our other videos, we've made amethyst and crystal soaps, cutting them all up and making them all individually. But for today, we're going to use this really fun little mold. It's a silicone mold, so it's nice and squishy, and it's already got all the crystals in here. So this is going to be a really simple soap, but you're going to see how effectively it's going to come up. In order to use this, what we're going to need is some ultra clear melt and pour soap base. I'm going to use the Renaissance purple pigment, and for no particular reason except I like the smell of it, we're going to use the Invigorate essential oil today. So let's get started. First of all, we're needing to cut up a little bit of the clear soap base. So I've already chopped a piece off. We're just going to chop that into some sizable chunks so that we can melt it down a little bit more easily. And you could mix it up in a jug, but because I'm only going to make the one for your demonstration, I've cut some little silicone cups off that will melt just a small amount of soap into those. So we'll just throw a few little pieces of the clear soap into there to melt it down. You can melt it using any heat source, but today I'm going to use the microwave to melt those down. So we'll pop that in the microwave on high for 30 seconds. And we can get our other products ready while we're using that. When you're using pigments, always remember to give them a good shake just in case there's any settling. And with your essential oils, because this one is a blend, we're going to give it a little shake just to make sure all the oils are blended through really nice. So our clear soap is all beautifully melted now. We're going to just add a couple of drops of the purple. Now, you can always add more pigment or more color in later, but you can't take it out. So I always just add a small amount and see if I like that color, because if it's a little bit too light, then I can easily add another drop or two to it and give it a little bit more of a stir. A few drops of the Invigorate oil. Now, how much oil should you be using? Anything up to 3% is fine, but I've just added nowhere near that amount, just enough to give it a really nice fragrance. And if you have a careful smell, it smells really nice, quite strong enough. So that will be all that I'm going to put into here. And then all you need to do is take your silicone mold, and I love using these cups because you can push them into a pouring spout, and as you can see, it's a lovely purple color. Fill up your mold. That one's not quite full to the top. That's going to make a slightly smaller mold, a smaller soap than if I filled it up to the top, but that's going to be enough for this soap. And now I'm going to set that aside to set at room temperature. That will take anything from 15 minutes up to 3 hours, and then we'll come back and pop it out once it's set and show you how to finish it up nicely. Our amethyst is set now, and we're going to unmold it. You can see it's not quite full, so we could have filled it right up to the top, but it'll just be a little bit smaller. So just stretch the silicone mold and pop the amethyst crystal out. Now, it already looks really pretty, but we want to really show up some of these lines and the marks in the amethyst. So what we're going to do is just dip it into the golden pearl mica, brush off the excess so that you only get a hint of it, and then just very lightly take it over the top and just pick up all of your crystals in your amethyst. You can go around the side as well because it's got some little growth lines there, and you'll see how just by highlighting a few of those marks or the points, the crystal tips, it brings the whole thing to life just a little bit more. This is the Renaissance round silicone soap mold using the ultra clear soap, purple pigment, and the golden pearl mica.